Bartika Eam Rai is a singer-songwriter who, with the support and encouragement from her mother, started singing and performing at a young age. In 2010, she was a vocalist for the metal band Gothica. After moving to New York City, she teamed up with Nepali-American musician Diwas Gurung and launched her solo career with her album Bimbaakash in 2016. Her lyricism and soulful singing has since garnered a large fan following with tours across the US, UK, India, and Nepal. Bartika will be in conversation with Muna Gurung. Muna Gurung is a writer, translator, and educator based in Kathmandu, Nepal. When not writing or teaching, she runs an intergenerational pickle company called ＡMAKO.
Hello, namaste, I'm Bartika. Echoes in the Valley ko your virtual edition, A Letter Home. I'm doing this total live set. First song ko naam se Deshnikala from the EP Simana. It's a very wordy song, so I'm not going to explain a lot about this song. Here goes. Bache samyo sasa ko mahatwa कति सास रहन्छ मर्दा पर्नेलाई थाहा एकछिन हुन्छ नबोले सम्म यो बोली के त्यो साँच्चै शब्द गनिन्छ बोल्न बन्दे छुनेलाई मात्र यो भेद थाहा हुन्छ सास फेर्ने बहाना चाहिएको छ यहाँ घुमनामा शहरमा छाया बनी हिँडेकै छु अस्ताएका चाहना अझै पनि सङ्गाली अरूकै यो भेटीमा आफ्नो औचित्य खोजेकै छु बगिसके जहाजहरू छिचाएर कामै छैन रोकिएर रोकिँदैन गइसके बराबर 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 छुमा बिलाइसके कागजको भाउमा इतिहासको लिलामी साथ दिई हिँडेछु पुस्तकको यो बर्बादी सामूहिक यो हुनु त सबैको हो गलती पश्चिमलाई देउता मान्ने मेरै समाजको प्रवृत्ति बगिसके जहाजहरू छिचाएर कामै छैन रोकिएर रोकिँदैन गइसके बराबर 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 छु म बिलाइसके इमान नै बेचे सारी यही अन्जान ठाउँ पनि कहिले काहीँ अचेल लाग्छ आफ्नै उही गाउँसरी तिमी पनि थिएनौ उनी पनि थिएन थिए यही जघन्य अजीवित पिताहरू हो बगिसके जहाजहरू छिचाएर कामै छैन रोकिएर रोकिँदैन गइसके बराबर 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 छु म बिलाइसके एक दिन आउँछ सिफारिस लिएर यो मबाट भ्रमबाट यो गीतको नाम अनुमति। यो खबर पुगोस् कुनै दिन तिम्रा सम्झना फिर्ता दिए थिए तिम्रा अहम थिए मेरा अहम सबै थोक माफी दिए हिजो मै अड्किएको हाम्रो जीवनलाई सास फेर्न दिए भयो तिमीलाई पनि त अनुमति छ नि अगाडि बढे भयो बिस्तारै भए नि समय लगाउँदै आफैलाई अँगालन यो खोक्रो दुनियाँगिरी के बुझ्न चाहन्छौ आफैलाई बुझन म त कहिरहन तिमी माथि केही अधिकार जताउन तिमी आफैलाई सोध आफैले आफूलाई अनुमति दिए भयो आशाहरूमा हराएको बेग्लै संसार थियो जहाँ रमेका थियौँ छरपष्ट हामी छायाहरू त्यहाँ सपनाको आँधीले बगाएको थियो धेरैलाई हराउन चाहन्थ्यौँ लाग्थ्यो चाहिँदैन अरू कोही केही बिस्तारै भए नि समय लगाउँदै आफैलाई अँगालन यो खोक्रो दुनियाँगिरी के बुझ्न चाहन्छौ आफैलाई बुझन म त कहिरहन तिमी माथि केही अधिकार जताउन तिमी आफैलाई सोध आफैले आफूलाई अनुमति दिए भयो यो खबर पुगोस् कुनै दिन तिम्रा सम्झना फिर्ता दिए थिए तिम्रा अहम थिए मेरा अहम सबै थोक माफी दिए यो गीतको नाम चाहिँ उमेर लेख्छु चिठीमा चिठी तिमीलाई आरामै होलौ भन्छु मेरै एकहोरो दैनिकी आकाशको रङ्गसँगै तिमी उडी गयौ स्वप्न जरी नहेरी नफर्की कहिले पनि बाटो लाग्यो सोध्न भने केही सकिन भन्न पनि केही सकिन आज खै को भयो तिमी आज खै को भए म चारैतिर नियाली हेर्छु अहिले पनि तिमीसँगै हुँदा त हो नि आफूलाई अलि बेसी चिनेको सोध्ने गर्छु आज पनि उही प्रश्न उमेरको हिसाबमा आफूमै हराएछु हेर न उकालो छ अनि ओह्रालो छ कहाँ छ सन्तुलन आऊ देखाऊ तिमी मलाई एकचोटि फेरि भने हाम्रो भेट त होला जो भए नि तिमी जो भए नि म चिठीमा चिठी तिमीलाई आरामै होलौ भन्छु मेरै एकहोरो दैनिकी आकाशको रङ्गसँग थ्याङ्क यू। यो गीत चाहिँ एउटा नयाँ गीत हो तर यो चाहिँ रेकर्डिङमा पनि गएको छैन प्रोडक्सन पनि गएको छैन भन्नाले प्रोडक्सन गर्ने कुरा चाहिँ भइरहेछ। यो गीत चाहिँ दिस वाज सपोज टु बी पार्ट अफ सिमाना ब्याक इन 2019 that entire EP is about the complexities of being away from home and also not being able to go and this longing, the displacement or obviously the continued khalke theme ko barema cha tara yo git ko naam chai Paltan ho, that's the working title ani yo git ma word haru pani still like finalized bhako chaina, words might change, melodies might change, placement haru change huna sakcha, it's a very like working khalke draft nai cha अहिले पनि which I never ever perform कता पनि मैले मेरो साथीहरुले पनि शेयर गरेको छुन तर I really wanted to sing it as part of your AITV को live set किनभने you know the whole point was to send a letter home and I wanted to sing it like I said, everything might change. तर पनि I wanted to try to sing it. घर छाडी पल्टन आयो के मुस्किलले निष्ठुरी कस्तो हो केले बगाल्छ तिम्रो ठोसयो मुटु छ केले हो जामाको सुर्तो खै मनको छ झकझकी बोलाको गाउँभरि हल्ला छ रे मन थामिएको हैन बाउले नगरेको यसले गर्छ सम्झना मेटिएको हैन देउसीको देउसिरेमा भाइ साथी पुगेनन् रे थोत्री गएछन् सारा रितहरू ओइलिसकेछन् अरे के कति सौदा गरी जिन्दगी गुजार्यो कसो गरी किस्तामा आफ्नो सपना बुझायो कति रातभरि धुम एकान्तमा आफैलाई बोलायो रमिता यहाँ बनेको छौ आफू आखिरमा के पायो एकछिन यतै बिसाउ है राजै बाटो यो टाढो त सपना भई गासौ है राजै भुल्ने कि गाह्रो छ एकछिन यतै बिसाउ है राजै बाटो यो गाह्रो छ सपना भए गासौ है राजै भुल्यो कि साह्रो छ घर छाडी पल्टन आयो के मुस्किलले निष्ठुरी कस्तो हो केले बगाल्छ तिम्रो ठोसयो मुटु छ कसले हो जामाको सुर्तो खै मनको छ झकझकी बोला Thank you for watching. I'm Bartika. Ani, thank you to Echoes in the Valley for having me. Ani, thank you to the fabulous Swarup Ranjit for shooting this set.
All right. Okay. Okay, I guess we can start. I'll start. Namaste. Hi, everyone. My name is Muna Gurung. I'm a writer and educator, and I run Kathmandu. And I'm so happy and honored to be here to welcome this month's featured artist for Echoes in the Valley Music Festival, the virtual edition. A Letter Home. And our artist today is very beloved. She is a talented singer-songwriter, honestly a profound poet, and I think she's an incredible storyteller, and I'm happy to call her a dear friend. So with that, Bartika Eam Rai, welcome to Echoes in the Valley. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for making time and agreeing to have this session with me. I am the one who's honored, so yeah, let's get that right first.
I know. Both. I'm so happy to be here. So, what's good? What's going on? Where are you?
I'm back in New York, back hustling, working, अनि studying a little bit, trying to write. अलिकति I'm doing a filmmaking workshop, Gograha filmmaking workshop that is being facilitated by Deepak Roniar and Asha Magrati and Bhaskar Dai. I don't know his last name. Anyways, these like excellent like filmmakers, and Bhaskar Dai is a journalist. Anishanta Nepali is the program manager. But that's what's good. Yeah, त्यो भइरहेको थियो अघिसम्म. So
nice. And you recently graduated from
I just
all things school.
मेरो master's in accounting.
Nice, congratulations. Cool. So I guess like I was so this whole week I've been listening to your music. It's been the soundtrack of my week, and oftentimes it is the music I go to when I want to like really feel and sort of immerse deeply in a moment. I do go back to your songs and your music, which I'm sure many people do. And then I was also watching some of your past interviews again. And, you talk a lot about like sort of Bartika Eam Rai as the project, right? And then there's Bartika, there's Bartika Rai, right? There's like the Bartika who is really good in math, I guess, because with accounts. And then there's Bartika who's now, I guess, like making, into cinema. I think you've always been into cinema. I've known you as Bartika the writer initially many years ago. And so besides all of this, like, I guess going back to the quote unquote like chronological beginning, what was Bartika like as a little child or girl? What was your childhood like?
I was my parents they were to start. This is always like such a tricky question because there stories or so, but then if I have to relate it to the creative aspects of it, then I grew up ita Kalapul, Ganeshko Pitari. My parents were first generation immigrants, I guess, to Kathmandu because they've been moving in a way, because my father's been moving from Dhankuta, and then can't say immigrants, but I don't know what the word is. But my mother just moved from Gaigat, and they were trying to. They were the people who were in the city. So like Amro Garma, although it was just me, Mira Ama, Mira Baba, it was never like the 11 months. So because everybody's like like Dhankuta ko aunate bhane, hamro huncha ni like maila cha, like we can just go there, like. And then मेरो आमाको पनि like अब cousins-हरु जहिले पनि like बहिनीहरु दिदीहरु पनि जहिले पनि मैले दिदी छ, so they always like I had a lot of people around me. I grew up like that, and I grew up very loved because I was like the third grandkid among like त्यसपछि चाहिँ धेरै पछि a lot of them were born. But I was very loved in that sense. अनि मेरो आमाजीहरु चाहिँ I mostly grew up also with my papaji was only there in my life for a period of time. He passed away very quickly. This was my amaji, my amaji's sisters. She has a very big family and very early someone that in touch. So I grew up with them, and they are vocal, loud, like people, and the amaru like very like strong, like voice ekdam उहाँहरूले करायो भने टोल थर्किने टाइपको हुन्छ नि, गाई राख्ने अनि एकदम कम्पिटिटिभ अन्ताक्षरी खेल्ने हुन्छ नि, एकदम सिरियसली लिने क्या. अनि डान्स गर्दा पनि कोरियोग्राफ गर्ने, एकजना दिदी मेन डान्सर हुने, अरू बहिनीहरू साइड डान्सर हुने, लाइक त्यस्तो खालको.
So they used to choreograph the little kids, or they dance themselves?
They dance आफै पनि. They were pretty young, like when they had like more born हुँदाखेरि. My mom was 22 or going on 22 होला. भनेपछि उहाँको बहिनीहरु त she's Miley. भनेपछि उहाँको बहिनीहरु त they were like some of them were like Kanchita, she was just a teenager हुन्छ नि. So they were very like एकदम नै हुनुहुन्थ्यो क्या. अनि very in tune, अनि उहाँहरु पहिलादेखि dancing, singing हरु पनि एकदम गर्नुहुन्थ्यो. And then I thought, so I used to think growing up that everybody sings. I thought it was talent because they were so competitive. And because internet radio was such a big deal. And this radio ma गीत बज्दाखेरि हामी बसिरहेको थियौँ के सुनेर अनि मेरो आमा चाहिँ यस्तो छिटो लेख्नुहुन्थ्यो क्या ट्रान्सक्राइब गर्ने हैन and then she'd ask me like मलाई भर्खर भर्खर words सिधा पनि like for example एउटा I feel like we wrote this together like तुझसे नाराज नहीं चाहिँ बजिरहेको थियो अनि त्यसपछि रिपिट हुँदैन नि त so you have to catch it on it हुन्छ नि अनि मेरो आमा चाहिँ गरेर लेख्नुहुन्थ्यो अनि sometimes she'd be like तैले के सुनिस् I don't even know Hindi. Like I would tell her, so like she really involved me in the process. Wow. I was just like 7 or 8. Almost not diary. My mother had given me a journal like ever since I started forming like words. So then like writing was like there and it's so bit creative. त्यस्तोहरु चाहिँ मेरो आमाजीहरुले एकदम गर्नुहुन्थ्यो तर मलाई चाहिँ डान्स चाहिँ they thought that it was my talent like पनि क्या relatives आयो भने 1 2 3 go टाइपको क्या अनि म त नाच्छु त्यस्तो हुन्थे अनि मैले कति लाइक पछिसम्म पनि even when I was like a teenager भन्दा 13 भर्खर 13 जस्तो हुँदाखेरि I'd already started going to boarding school so I thought it was not cool anymore I'd already figured out अरु ट्यालेन्टहरु छ त्यस्तो भनेर तर पनि लाइक घरमा चाहिँ मलाई मेरो चाहिँ भाडा माझ्ने काम हुन्थ्यो अनि मेरो अरु
मेरो पनि भाडा माझ्ने काम हुन्थ्यो
यस्तो ठग्थे के घरको काममा यस्तो भागिसकेको हुन्थेन अनि भाडा चाहिँ मलाई माझ्नु पर्थ्यो तर मैले भाडा माझ्दा पनि लाइक डान्स इन्डिया डान्स त्यस्तोहरु आइरहेछ भने मलाई पुरा बोलाउने क्या छामाजी आमाजीहरुले they really thought that I was gonna represent like boogie त्यस्तोहरु भयो त्यस्तो थियो एकदमै नै ग्रेगेरियस टाइपको हाउसहोल्ड थियो अनि मान्छेहरु पनि आइराख्ने गइराख्ने ट्राफिक भइराख्थ्यो त्यस्तो खालको
Nice. I'm picking up on a few things you're saying. I think one thing you said that really struck me, हैन अनि यो पनि मैले भर्खर नै आफूले पनि बुझ्न खोजे हो के that you said I was very loved you said हैन अनि यो मैले पनि like last couple of years माने when I reflect when I look back to my family like there's all this talk of like self-love and feeling not worthy and all of that then I reflected I'm like I was really loved I like grew up really loved like and I still am very loved I know so how did you know that you were loved like how did you as a child because I don't think our parents are like I love you भन्ने खालको त्यो हुँदैन like it's not verbalized right so like how did you know that you were valued and that you were loved
I think मेरो आमाजी चाहिँ she has this constant like कस्तो खालको उहाँको parenting कस्तो टाइपको थियो भन्दा I mean in a way it's also like really like I don't know I talk to my friends now what was your parents parenting style भन्दा मेरो आमाजीको चाहिँ was very like emotional blackmailing type which I think is not a parents go but then त्यस्तो भन्दा पनि she just like always set मेरो expectations एकदमै high जुन चाहिँ मेरो कुनै पनि अरु भाइ बहिनीहरुको त्यस्तो थिएन I mean that was bad I guess in a way which मेरो आमाजी र म पनि आजभोलि conversation गर्छ but then त्यसको अर्को एस्पेक्टमा चाहिँ it was very like कस्तो भने constant validation टाइपको constantly like positive खालके उहाँले कहिले पनि like she never hugged me or like she never said I love you or anything like that तर like there was a constant like kind of like she believed in me अनि त्यो चाहिँ एकदमै clear थियो and then like हाम्रो circumstances चाहिँ त्यस्तो राम्रो चाहिँ थिएन क्या like हामी financially we were not like very strong and stuff like of course like I said they just came from गाउँ अनि everybody's crashing there so that part was very complicated despite all of that like मलाई जे भन्यो my parents they always made it happen त्यस्तो कुराहरु like I guess like in a way those things took I don't know त्यस्तोहरु and also the constant encouragement I guess and then yeah I don't know like मैले पनि suddenly like हजुर अघि भनेन I was very loved भनेर तर I guess it was just in the back of my head so I said it तर मैले यस्तो बसेर चाहिँ पुरा सोचेको जस्तो हुन क्या but I always had that feeling मेरो पापाजी पनि yeah he was not a person who would sit down and be like I love you
त्यही त है हाम्रो त्यो माया like love दिने र लिने पनि like I think we take it like we've understood it somehow, right? Like that is
Yeah.
love. I think like
But
I think when
it's
I was talking to you, bana.
one of the oldest older grandkids भएर पनि हो जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई बिकज त्यो ग्रान्डपेरेन्ट्सहरूको त्यो अटेन्सन पनि अर्कै टाइपको हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ आई डोन्ट नो अहिले सोच्दाखेरि when I look back
Yeah. I think Astina, when we were talking, one thing that you said that struck me was, you said that maybe it was this like your ama and chamas around you who really were saying things like, "La, Bartika, you will be the best dancer in Nepal," or like, that kind of like, I guess ek prakarle agi timle bhane so they really believed in you. Like, I also saw that I felt like, oh, that's also affirmation, like you could imagine being something and that they were like, Toto, you will be the best. That feels like so powerful in hindsight.
Absolutely. Just you will be the best type of thing. Like they just call me like, okay, that's just for EITV people who's watching. And day one, they can identity crisis kids are like,
Why?
So like, I don't know. It's like a family thing. Everybody has two names. It's like my bozu kept one name and then my ama kept one name. So my legal docs have one name. So they'd be like, Roxanne, like this is my Tama, right now. And then just go in a TV man and they'd be like, yeah, no, what's up? So it was like that. It was not like the best dancer or anything. So it's that kind of, but then they would say that they were very proud of me and I knew that and of course like every time koi mantha ayo bhane Elena and gig bazaar त्यस्तो गर्छन् बच्चाहरुलाई but then म मात्रै थिए क्या मेरो दिदीले पनि गर्दैन थियो मेरो दादाले पनि गर्दैन थियो तर I guess in a very different way like उहाँहरुको different type को थियो तर मलाई चाहिँ पुरा सानोदेखि एकदम धेरै सपनाहरु देख्नु environment बनाउने क्या मेरो छामाजीहरुले मेरो आमाजीहरुले अनि also in a way because मलाई अस्तिहरुसँग गफ गर्दा भन्ने थिए like उहाँहरु पनि एकदमै creatively inclined हुनुहुन्थ्यो हैन तर उहाँहरु they got married यहाँ त्यहाँ उहाँहरुले त्यस्तो धेरै सपना देख्नु भएन but then उहाँहरुले मलाई त्यस्तो गराउनुहुन्थ्यो क्या अनि they live through me I guess like a lot of people get married very quickly and have babies like have हुन्छ नि उसको दिदी बहिनीहरुको babies हुन्छ अनि they grow up like very like close knit खालके ठाउँहरुमा त्यस्तोहरु केसेसहरु हुन्छ तर मबाट चाहिँ नो एकदम भाइक्यारियसली पनि उहाँहरु लिभ गरिराख्नु भएको थियो मेरो आमा चाहिँ भन्नुहुन्छ स्टिल पनि हैन छामाजीहरु पनि दे स्टिल भेरी लाइक उहाँ त्यसरी प्राउड हुनुहुन्छ अहिले आएर हैन सो त्यस्तो कुराहरु चाहिँ
And then you went to boarding school when you were pretty young.
Yeah.
कति वर्षमा गएको Bartika?
मलाई 10 years हुँदाखेरि खासमा my dada used to like मेरो आमाजीको जेठी दिदीको छोरा चाहिँ he used to go there अनि हामी भेट्नु गएको थियौं मलाई स्कुल यस्तो प्रिटी लाग्यो I was so inspired like at 10 years old because this was so big Brand school and it was so like म पढ्ने स्कुल चाहिँ it was like दुईटा बिल्डिङ्स पानी एकदम धेरै पर्यो भने हाम्रो छुट्टी हुन्थ्यो क्या त्यस्तो खालको स्कुल थियो I think a lot of schools in Kathmandu used to do that अहिले I don't know if त्यस्तो हुन्छ so it was really great हुन्छ नि एउटा प्लेग्राउन्ड थियो अनि every parents मा मेरो सोलो डान्स हुन्थ्यो so again स्कुलमा पनि मलाई त्यसै गर्थ्यो क्या so I really thought that म क्लास 1 मा सोलो डान्स गरिरहन्थे like
कुन गीतमा याद छ I'm sure
my mother taught me the dance किनभने dance teacher was like they could not teach me the full dance किनभने they also had to teach the group dance say tala 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 besi mama
yeah I know that song yeah
but I really wanted to do it and arco group dance it was like ago lagyo dilai ma I can still remember it अनि मैले चाहिँ त्यो हेरेको थिएँ मैले चाहिँ पालो पर्खिरहेको थिएँ क्या मेरो चाहिँ सोलो डान्स he was supposed to choreograph it but he never got to me अनि पेरेन्ट्स चाहिँ आइसकेको थियो so then my dance teacher was like तिम्रो आमाहरूले कसरी सिकाउनुहुन्छ घरमा and I was like मेरो आमाजीले सिकाउनुहुन्छ so my mother taught me the whole dance डालीमा I still remember it's like random memories from अनि class 1 मा अनि त्यसपछि I was dancing मेरो आमाजी was right there like मेरो मलाई क्या नर्भस थिएँ हैन मलाई त्यो स्टिल रिमेम्बर गर्छु एउटा फोटो छ क्या हाम्रो एल्बममा स्टिल अनि मेरो आमाजी मलाई कहिले भुल्दिन अहिले सोच्दाखेरि मलाई यस्तो माया लाग्छ हैन I almost like tear up मेरो आमाजी यस्तो ह्याप्पी हुनुहुन्थ्यो नि अब she choreographed it I was dancing प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठानमा हैन अनि she was like just right in front of me and she was asking me to come like स्टेजको अगाडि कि बिकज म चाहिँ पछाडि गएर डराएर एक्लै नाच्छु सिज लाइक थ्रु आउट द सङ सिज लाइक अगाडि आइज हुन्छ नि म चाहिँ एक्लै नाच पनि रहेछु आइम भेरी प्राउड अल्सो बट आई क्यान इभन स्माइल बिकज आइम सो नर्भस अल्सो अनि बट आई रिमेम्बर द्याट लाइक अ मुभी सिन विथ रामाजी लाइक इन फ्रन्ट द स्टेज सो त्यस्तो खालको एफर्मेसन्स यु नो आइम सेइङ इट वाज नेभर लाइक वर्डमा लाइक ओ तँ चाहिँ यस्तो सच हुन्छ नि तर जस्ट लाइक या सो त्यस्तो एक्सनहरू चाहिँ so yeah she's lovely and त्यही हो तर म दादालाई
that's so great. It's like her gesture, right? Taka timle bhanyo ni ta, her action, like her gesture is to be like Bartika, like stand in your greatness, don't be in the back, right? Like in some ways like stand under the lights, right? Which is where you belong, you know. I think that's so powerful.
त्यस्तो खालको चाहिँ हुनुहुन्छ बट देन मैले कहिले नबुझेको क्या त्यो के हो भनेर नि लास्टमा मात्रै लाइक सिट हो नि म तँलाई कति अगाडि भयो लाइक सिट अफ लाइक आम लाइक बट लाइक सिटको फोटो म पछाडि सो इट्स जस्ट फनी तर त्यही हो बोर्डिङ स्कुल जाँदा चाहिँ दादा चाहिँ भेट्न गएको थिएँ अनि देन द स्कुल वाज सो प्रिटी म चाहिँ अलरेडी क्लास 4 मा थिएँ अनि एन्ट्रेन्स एक्जाम क्लास 4 को मात्रै हुन्थ्यो म चाहिँ आमा चाहिँ बेग गरेर आमा चाहिँ प्लिज म स्कुलमा पढ्छु प्लिज म स्कुल अनि माई मदर वाज लाइक त क्लास 4 अलरेडी छ सायद तँले एन्ट्रेन्स दिस भने फेरि क्लास 4 तैँले पढ्नुपर्छ आम लाइक नो प्लिज म यहाँ पढ्छु प्लिज म यहाँ पढ्छु अनि त बोर्डिङ स्कुलमा बस्न सक्छ लाइक यु क्यान लिभ लाइक अवे फ्रम यर पेरेन्ट्स आई वाज लाइक I don't care. And I literally like when I entrance exam day and then we forgot that my entrance exam day. We totally forgot about it. And I was just going on about my life. I'm already class 4 I was already enrolled. I just went to take entrance exam because I was like enchanted with the school. And then I came back. All of us forgot that I had taken the exam. And this was she literally like गोर्खापत्रमा न्युज आएको रहेछ and then त्यो टोल क्या सानो थियो क्या this is what I really miss about Kathmandu त्यति बेला because everybody knew everybody but not in a bad way like it was not like, because I was still very young so I didn't know aunties who were like you त यति पोजिसम्म गइरहेछ I didn't have those problems everybody knew everybody त मलाई it was very good for me हैन अनि कुन चाहिँ अङ्कलले चाहिँ he knew गोर्खापत्रमा रिजल्ट आएको छ भनेर अनि he saw my name and he told my papaji अनि papaji brought गोर्खापत्र home अनि literally last ma theko mero naam
you made it
I made it and this was yeah and this which I went to run control repeat corridor but then I was 10 years old
10 years old and how long were you there for
I was there for 9 years
that's long
yeah
that's a chunk of your life like sort of in hostel so essentially you've been away from what we understand as ghar or home since you were 10 kind of right like what was hostel life like
boarding school was very very fun shuruma so mo chai saनमा was very like attention seeking kind of a kid pani testo khalke चाहिँ मेरो behaviors थियो हैन I think my mother says that I inherited that from my father that मेरो बाबा पनि सानोमा त्यस्तो हुन्थ्यो भन्नुहुन्थ्यो हैन so म चाहिँ एकदमै चर्पी थिएँ क्या एकदमै छिटो साथी बनाउने लाइक एकदमै लाइक बिचमा गएर सेन्टर अफ एटेन्सन भएर लाइक त्यो गर्ने एन्ड एभ्रिथिङ सो सानोमा चाहिँ 4, 5, 6 सम्म चाहिँ इट वाज अल गुड एन्ड अल ह्याप्पी एन्ड एभ्रिथिङ अनि त्यसपछि चाहिँ इट अल लाइक केम क्रासिङ इट वाज लाइक बोर्डिङ स्कुल वाज लाइक आई मिन आई गेस इन नेम योर सर्भाइभर अहिले चाहिँ तर इट वाज भेरी लाइक कम्प्लिकेटेड फर मी तर मेरो फुल जर्नी नै इट वाज भेरी लाइक आई इन्जोयड इट I don't know, at moments it was also kind of like a कस्तो भन्ने राम्रो पनि थियो it kind of like saved me at times पनि भन्नुपर्छ because 9 years मा कति धेरै कुरा भयो नि त लाइफमा it's not like flat हैन कति मोमेन्ट्समा I felt like it also saved me तर कति मोमेन्ट्स मेनली चाहिँ त्यो स्कुलमा चाहिँ I guess it was also very like sexist हामी भएसम्म much later सम्म पनि अहिले भर्खर things are coming out तर also they used to be like a boys school के पहिलादेखि नै अनि हामी जाँदा पनि I think it was pretty recent that केटीहरू start गरेको and everything अनि एकदमै like weird खालके थियो अनि also like I think I also told you a little bit about this earlier तर like म जस्तो देख्ने मान्छेहरू धेरै थिएन like it was like 8 or 9 Rai people and a bunch of Gurung people like Limbu people so like people who look like me and like Rai or सबजना मेरो cousins थियो but it was just कस्तो खालके त्यो कुराहरूले कसरी एफेक्ट गर्यो भनेर मच लेटरसम्म थाहा नै भएन क्या त्यस्तो रिप्रेजेन्टेसनहरू अनि त्यो स्टिरियोटाइप गरिरहेको थियो अनि दोज थिङ्स वर लाइक कस्तो भन्ने अहिलेसम्म पनि अफेक्ट गरेको लाइक इट चेन्ज मी एज अ पर्सन लाइक इट डेफिनेटली अफेक्टेड मी
Yeah, I completely understand that. I think a lot of us who look the way we do, when you go to like a certain like I guess elite schools are not one, but like English medium, pretty good school, right? Like in those times, like, but I feel the same way. Like I remember also growing up and then being like very few people who look like me, teachers who was no one who was a gurung, right? Yeah, and then the only person was like the paledai who was gurung, and as a teenager you just want to fit in, and then I used to be like so ashamed. Like now when I look back I'm like that was dumb, right? But like tetikhera you just I didn't realize this until much later either.
मलाई चाहिँ कति धेरै लाइक यस्तो पनि हुन्थ्यो क्या लाइक म चाहिँ एकदमै छिटो के भन्छ त्यसलाई डायलेक्टहरू भन्छ कि कस्तो भने ल्याङ्ग्वेज बोल्ने तरिकाहरू चाहिँ मलाई एकदम छिटो टिप्छु क्या लाइक आई स्टार्ट ह्याङ्गिङ आउट समबडी आई स्टार्ट टकिङ लाइक देम होइन आई स्टार्ट लाइक मलाई यस्तो छिटो हुन्छ क्या त्यो लाइक इट्स नट लाइक आई रियली इन्जोय इट लाइक आई रियली इन्जोय आई लभ ल्याङ्ग्वेजेस अनि त्यसपछि म चाहिँ नर्मली छुट्टीहरूमा घरमा साथ के भन्छ कजन्सहरूसँग जाँदा मेरो एकदम पूर्वे टोन आइहाल्थ्यो क्या एन्ड देन आई स्टार्ट युजिङ लाइक यता धरानको थेगोहरू लाइक stuff that they use, like the slang that they use they're using in Dharanko city or like Dankutako city or like, you know, all eastern part of Nepal. On this school, I didn't really have friends who were from Purva, and this I didn't realize, like, I recently realized. And the owner said, tape that's the language, which is a very like.
Yeah, that's very problematic.
So it was so like like so I started talking like them होइन तर फेरि म छुट्टीमा जाँदाखेरि त्यसो भइहाल्थ्यो क्या अनि एउटा मोमेन्ट पछि चाहिँ मैले हुन्छ नि क्लास आई थिङ्क क्लास 9 कि त 11 तिर चाहिँ आई रियली स्टप केयरिङ एनी फर्दर तर त्यति बेलासम्म मलाई थाहा थिएन कि त्यो कुरा चाहिँ मेरो मिस्टेक होइन कि हुन्छ नि उनीहरूको मिस्टेक हो इट समहाउ फेल्ट लाइक म चाहिँ पोजी भइरहेको छु नक्कली भइरहेको छु द्याट आइ एम ट्राइङ टु स्पिक लाइक नो लाइक आई वाज जस्ट लाइक व्हाटएभर हुन्छ नि त्यो इट्स जस्ट लाइक आई डोन्ट नो त्यो इन्टरनलाइजेसन त्यो कन्डिसनहरू एकदमै वियर्ड खालको थियो अनि आई डोन्ट थिङ्क एनीबडी वाज डुइङ डिलिबरेटली फर स्योर के हो लाइक त्यस्तो एक्सपिरियन्सेस टाइनी एक्सपिरियन्सेस इन बोर्डिङ स्कुल फर लाइक 9 लङ इयर्स चाहिँ अहिलेसम्म पनि इट्स लाइक like heal box, but I think a lot of us like got messed up like that, so I don't think anybody's gonna
no I mean I think it's a common story, but I don't think it's unimportant, right? Like it's absolutely significant. तिमीले त्यो शब्दहरु भन्दा I was reminded that मलाई चाहिँ स्कुलमा चाहिँ त्यो खाना दिँदाखेरि भुजा खाने भन्थ्यो क्या अनि फर्स्ट डे I was like भुजा मेरो लागि त भुजा was like त्यो puff rice क्या हुन्छ नि अनि बिस्तारै we started saying bhuja अनि म घर जान्थे and I would tell my parents because my parents didn't go to school and I was just like oh it's actually not bhat it's bhuja like you know like because I thought that was the that we were wrong like almost like ठगतिमले अघि भने जस्तो that I was the problem, right?
Same question to that घरमा गएर अनि मैले चाहिँ मेरो साथीहरुलाई भेटेर हजुर गइ बक्सियोस् भन्न थालेको थिएँ क्या for the first time हैन उता स्कुल गएपछि when I went back छुट्टीमा मेरो कजनहरुले फेरि अर्को साइडमा मलाई र्याग गरेर oh forget it they just like bashed me for it like they were like just हुन्छ नि not taking it अनि उनीहरु चाहिँ फेरि मेरो कजन्स चाहिँ मेरो काकाहरु चाहिँ दे ओन लाइक स्कुलहरु के यता के भन्छ नेपालमै अनि म बाहेक सबजना म र दादा बाहेक everybody went there and there's a lot of like Mongolian looking people there okay? So उनीहरु चाहिँ it was like the reverse हैन उनीहरु त they would not let me live क्या त्यसरी बोल्दाखेरि अनि my mother found us like bickering like fighting about it and she was like के बोल्दा and then she was like के हुँदैन हजुर भन्दा ठिकै छ त्यसो बक्सेसहरु चाहिँ नभन हामीलाई अलिक अप्ठ्यारो भयो but हजुर चाहिँ भन्ने भनेर she made everybody now everybody has to call everybody हजुर now it's like I mean this thing you know it's like it's not really हाम्रो language Nepali language अहिले आएर सोच्दाखेरि यो पनि एकदम recent realization हो तर मेरो आमा चाहिँ teaches Nepali but anyways तर भन्नु खोजेको चाहिँ अब त्यो कुराहरु त आउँछ it's pretty fluid you know because it like comes from, अनि फेरि कति धेरै people live there who speak Nepali, so the wordsहरू त अब पुरोबाट आउँछ कि पश्चिमबाट आउँछ, like it has to be pretty, I guess, at this point. तर पहिला सानोमा चाहिँ it was, yeah, pretty. I don't know.
Do you speak Rai?
I don't. My mother does not. मेरो पापाजीले बोल्नुहुन्थ्यो, तर फेरि राई भाषा गाउँ पछि फरक हुन्छ दिदी. मेरो आमाजी र पापाजी नै, मेरो आमाजी चाम्लिङ हो अनि मेरो पापाजी बान्ता हो, उहाँहरूको नै डिफ्रेन्ट हुन्छ. बट आइएम भेरी असेम्ड आजभोलि चाहिँ मलाई किन आउँदैन भनेर. यो पनि अर्कै खालके आइएम गोइङ थ्रु लाइक
You want to learn, Barti, or?
Yeah, I want to learn. भन्नाले तर मैले 2-3 वर्ष अगाडिदेखि I started asking my brother. तर मेरो दादाजी यता मेरो बाबाको दाइको छोराहरूलाई चाहिँ आउँछ क्या, because they lived in the village for like the longest time. त्यसपछि they came to Kathmandu. तर त्यो मात्रै सिकेर पनि मलाई खास I don't know, like who am I going to talk to, because मलाई without practice, like what am I, like I don't know, it's very like, and it's very difficult for me.
Yeah.
Like,
so I mean, I did want to get to this question of I mean, you write in Nepali, you know, but timray songs are bata मैले कति धेरै शब्दहरु सिकिसके के, you know, like like even words like beautiful words like nidari, I didn't know that, like, you know, or I mean Bimbaakash the bhayalyo. I feel like a lot of us learned that word, you know, and there's so many words that in Nepali you are when you're writing these lyrics, you know. So what was the choice? I know that you've said a lot that your mom was sort of the inspiration and also like the audience in your mind, you know. So I guess like my question is, what is the difference for you when you write in Nepali versus English? What was the choice to write in Nepali and sing in Nepali? Do you feel differently in two different languages? You know? Do you write your prose in English? Like how do these two languages sort of sit in you and your creative life?
I write a lot of prose in English. So let's I think writing in Nepali भन्दा पनि recording in Nepali, जब मैले music बनाउन थाले, त्यो चाहिँ I think it was a conscious decision, because I wanted मेरो आमाजी to understand the songs that I was writing. त्यो एउटा aspect थियो. अर्को aspect also I feel like I told you a little bit about this, that boarding school I knew so many Hindi songs and Nepali songs, and I really thought everybody sang. On this which जाने बित्तिकै चाहिँ दिदीहरुले एउटा उ गर्थ्यो क्या, talent show type को क्या, just to know like यो batch को बहिनीहरुको के is the talent भनेर, because they normally have to assign us like हुन्छ नि dance competition, singing competition, like they have to, the senior most people have to assign us. अनि मैले dance गर्दा चाहिँ they didn't really pay attention के खासमा, and I was like what, like I used to be the star, you know, like hello. And मेरो dance एकदम literal खालके dance गर्थेँ म चाहिँ, like मेरो माया सुनिदेऊ type को क्या हुन्छ नि, like more like contemporary type हुन्छ नि, अनि expressions even त्यस्तो गर्थेँ हैन. And then apparently dance त अर्कै type को like contemporary यस्तो पुरा modern type को हुँदो रहेछ हैन. And I was like okay हैन. अनि त्यसपछि गीत गाऊ भन्ने हैन दिदीहरुले. अनि त्यसपछि अस्ति भर्खर छ्यामाजीले देउसीमा डान्स सिकाउनु भएको थियो क्या, एउटा गीतमा बसन्ती भन्ने मुभी आएको थियो त्यति बेला, अनि त्यो गीत मलाई सबै आउँथ्यो because I just danced in that song and I made so much money हैन गाईघाटमा, अनि I sang that song हैन full. अनि दिदीहरु त they were like हुन्छ नि बहिनी यो तिम्रो डान्स, and I was like what, no this is my, anyways let's forget about that. त त्यति बेला मैले नेपाली गीत गाएर, हाम्रो स्कुलमा चाहिँ टाइप कास्ट हुन्थ्यो क्या, लाइक एकजना मान्छेले नेपाली गीत गायो भने 9 years अब यसले नेपाली गीत गाउँछ, र मान्छेले इङ्ग्लिस गायो भने 9 years यसले इङ्ग्लिस, त्यस्तो खालके हुन्थ्यो हैन. अनि म चाहिँ आई बिकेम द्याट नेपाली गीत गाउने बहिनी इन द्याट ब्याच के हैन, थ्रु आउट द 9 years. अनि तर त्यो भन्दा पनि फेरि मैले क्लास 5 तिर भर्खर 4 मा थिएँ, अनि त्यति बेला पनि आई वाज फाइन बिकज आई गट सम अटेन्सन, ओके फाइन आम नाम द सिङ्गर हुन्छ नि. अनि क्लास 5 मा गएर चाहिँ I suddenly realized within a year that Nepali songs are not cool. Hindi songs are they're not cool at all at that place, हैन. English songs हुन्छ नि the bomb हुन्छ नि. So म चाहिँ छिटो मेरो साथीहरु जोसँग इङ्ग्लिश क्यासेटहरु थियो हैन, ल्याएर छिटो गीत सिकेर, अनि I need to be cool like you said हुन्छ नि, we need to fit in and all of that. अनि त्यो सबै भएर छिटो इङ्ग्लिश गीत सिकेर, इङ्ग्लिश गीतहरु कति अडिसन दिएर never got selected, जहिले नेपाली गीत गाउनु पर्ने हैन. अनि तर साथीहरूसँग हुँदा चाहिँ अभियसली इङ्ग्लिस गीतहरू गाउने हुन्छ स्ल्याम बुकहरूमा इङ्ग्लिस गीतहरूको लेख्ने होइन त्यस्तोहरू गर्ने एनिवेज त्यस्तो खालके रेपुटेसन चाहिँ बनाउने तर स्टिल नेपाली गीत गाउने स्टेजमा गएर बट देन त्यो चाहिँ मेरो लङ्गेस्ट टाइम कम्प्लेक्स रहेछ क्या आफूसँगै त्यो एक्सेप्टेन्स गर्न नसक्ने अनि त्यो चाहिँ मैले पनि त्यो कति लाइक धेरै पछि मात्रै रियलाइज गरेँ एसएलसी पछि पनि 3 months हुँदाखेरि मैले चाहिँ खासमा क्लास 8मा एकदम लामो कुरा छ सर्टन गर्दाखेरि क्लास 8मा गिटार सिक्छु भन्दा पेरेन्ट्सको लाइक गिटार सिक्नु पर्दैन लाइक वान अफ आवर कजन्स वाज गेटिङ इन्टु लाइक पटेड भएर धरानमा एकदम गाली खाइरहनु भएको थियो लाइक अलमोस्ट डिसोन्ड बाई हिज फ्यामिली होइन उहाँले गिटार बजाउँछ भनेर यु क्यान नट प्ले गिटार यु गर्न बी पटेड होइन अनि फर्स्टमा त्यसरी हामीसँग पैसा छैन मलाई गिटार किनिदिनुको लागि अनि त्यो त एकदमै नै ओभर युज डायलग थियो नि त नि सानोमा हुर्किँदाखेरि अनि म चाहिँ इमोसनल टाइपको मान्छे थिएँ क्या म त देउसी खेलेर पैसा जम्मा गरेर आई ह्याड इनफ मनी टु बाई गिटार के क्लास 8मा अनि आई टुक द गिटार एन्ड आई वाज लाइक अब म गिटार किन्छु कन्फिस्केट माई पेरेन्ट्स टुक अवे माई मनी एनिवेज अनि तर पनि त्यस्तो गर्नु भएन तर उहाँहरूले चाहिँ किबोर्ड एनिवे यो मलाई एकदम डिफ्रेन्ट ट्यान्जेन्टमा गएर छु एनिवेज क्लास 10 पछिको 3 monthsमा चाहिँ आई वाज लाइक म म्युजिक क्लासेस लिन्छु अनि म किड्सहरूलाई पनि पढाउँछु अनि म म्युजिक क्लासेसको लागि पे गर्छु अनि माई मदर वाज लाइक इस्टर्न भोकल सिक अनि आई वाज लाइक म किन इस्टर्न भोकल सिक्नु लाइक आई वान्ट टु लर्न लाइक वेस्टर्न भोकल यु नो लाइक आई वान्ट टु लर्न लाइक इङ्ग्लिस सङ्ग्स अनि मेरो आमा चाहिँ मलाई दिनै भएन अनि सी मेड मी लर्न इस्टर्न भोकल विथ गुरुदेव कामत इन लाइक गुरुकुल अनि उहाँ तर माई मदर वाज भेरी एक्साइटेड क्या लाइक यसरी उहाँले आफै खोज्नुहुन्थ्यो त्यो टिचरहरू हुन्छ नि मलाई थाहा थिएन लाइक उहाँले आफै लानुहुन्थ्यो सी वाज भेरी इन्करेजिङ क्या त्यस्तो वेमा के तर अब वेस्टर्न भोकल चाहिँ नपढ्ने रे अनि मलाई यस्तो रिस उठेको थिएन तर पनि मलाई खासमा इन्जोय गर्थेँ क्या हिन्दी गीतहरू गाउनु सो आई वेन्ट देयर मैले सबै तारा देवीहरूको गीत सिकेँ होइन अरुणा लामाहरूको गीत सिकेँ अनि आई रियली इन्जोयड इट के अनि मलाई त्यति बेलादेखि हल्का आई स्टार्टेड फिलिङ लाइक वाट इज ह्यापनिङ लाइक आई डोन्ट रियली वान्ट टु सिङ इङ्ग्लिस लाइक आई इन्जोय इट होइन तर त्यस्तो खालको त होइन रहेछ टाइपको अनि अझै बिस्तारै 12th क्लास पछि चाहिँ आई रियलाइज मलाई एकदम कम्प्लेक्स रहेछ भनेर क्या द्याट आई ह्याड टु सो पिपल द्याट आम गन सिङ इङ्ग्लिस सङ्ग्स एन्ड देन दिज वेस्टर्न सङ्ग्स एन्ड देन सिङ्गिङ नेपाली सङ्ग्स एन्ड हिन्दी सङ्ग्स वाज सम काइन्ड लाइक इम्बेरेसिङ खालके फिलिङ इन माई हेड एन्ड अल द्याट सो जब मैले रेकर्ड गर्ने डिसाइड गरेँ अल्सो आई फेल लाइक इट वाज अल्सो बिकज पिपल माई एज लाइक हामीलाई रेफरेन्सेस थिएन क्या वेन आई वाज रेकर्डिङ नेपालीमा म्युजिक I'm not saying that most bawal मान्छे no, but then I'm just saying that हामी सानो हुँदाखेरि when we were teenagers there was a surge of Nepali pop music होइन त्यति बेला सबिन राईको फर्स्ट फ्यु एल्बम्स आएको थियो साभ म्युजिक थियो रियाज म्युजिक थियो all these like great songs like कर्मा ब्यान्डको गीतहरू आइरहेको थियो and then this like I can't remember the singer but गोरेटो अनि उस्तै छ गल्ली and all these songs are so great like त्यति बेला एउटा सिने गुरुङ मौसमी लिम्बू like all these people like त्यति बेला एकैचोटि ड्याम आएको थियो कि like labels came like कान्तिपुर TV came call कान्तिपुर came and everything like died within like 5 years or something के so त्यसपछि हाम्रो केही पनि त्यस्तो धेरै रेफरेन्स भएको जस्तो लागेन अनि मैले नेपाली गीत सुन्ने भन्दा पनि I really didn't have like मैले कस्तो नेपाली गीत सुन्ने they were like म त साउन्ड क्लाउडमा गएर कति खोजेर सुन्थेँ होइन कति धेरै एकदमै फ्यु ह्यान्डफुल मात्रै थियो सो देन वेन आई वाज लाइक म अब म्युजिक रिलिज गर्नु पऱ्यो रेकर्ड गर्नु पऱ्यो भन्दा चाहिँ इट वाज अ भेरी कन्सियस डिसिजन अल्सो बिकज अफ अल दिस थिङ्स अनि त्यसपछि इट अल्सो ह्याड टु डु विथ द फ्याक्ट द्याट मैले त्यही 12 क्लासपछि मैले नेपालमा म्युजिक गर्दा चाहिँ आई वाज इन अ मेटल ब्यान्ड त्यो मात्रै थियो अन्डरग्राउन्डमा होइन अनि अहिले म त्यसरी भन्छु किनभने I guess I have a problem with this too. I should stop saying it like this. But anyways, I should be. I'm really like I learned a lot. Like I know a lot of people. मैले त्यति बेला नै चिनेको क्या सबै म्युजिकको मान्छेहरू जति मलाई थाहा थियो which really helped me मेरो फर्स्ट EP गर्दाखेरि but then मलाई लाज लाग्छ because I'm just like मैले केही गर्दिनँ थिएँ क्या त्यहाँ just photo shootहरू मात्रै like त्यसैले मलाई लाग्छ
so this was Gothica होइन
यो चाहिँ Gothica भन्ने ब्यान्डमा थिएँ अनि दे वर प्रिटी टाइट लाइक एकदम राम्रो थियो म चाहिँ फिचरिङ टाइपको गर्थेँ बट देन त्यति बेला चाहिँ मेटल मात्रै थियो क्या लाइक कस्तो टक्सिक खालको थियो भन्दा एकचोटि केसिएम आइसिएमसी भन्ने एकदमै ठुलो फेस्टिभल हुन्थ्यो अहिले पनि हुन्छ होला केसिएमको अनि अलमोस्ट त के भन्ने सबै ब्यान्डै मेटल हुन्थ्यो कम्पिट गर्ने नर्मली त्यो इयर्सहरूमा त्यसै 2010 हुन्छ 2011 अनि आई थिङ्क 2011मा एउटा अल्टरनेटिभ ब्यान्डले बजाएको थियो क्या द क्राउड वाज बुइङ देम त्यस्तो खालको टक्सिक थियो क्या अन्डरग्राउन्ड नेपाली म्युजिक त्यति बेला तर ठ्याक्क त्यति बेला ट्यान्डममा चाहिँ नाइट भन्ने ब्यान्ड थाहा छ हजुरलाई नाइट चाहिँ ठ्याक्क लाइक दे वर रेकर्डिङ द फर्स्ट हुन्छ नि kind of like, I think they were recording the first album and they were just starting to do shows. And मेरो चाहिँ ठ्याक्कै त्यति बेला मैले चाहिँ फाइनली म वेस्टर्न भोकल सिक्न गएँ होइन केजिसीमा मेरो साथी चाहिँ मलाई जहिले पनि वेस्टर्न भोकल सिक्नु जा तर इस्टर्न भोकल चाहिँ के पनि जो सिक्नु चाहिँ जा भन्थ्यो होइन तर म चाहिँ पुरा त्यो भाइबको लागि गएँ होइन हाइपको लागि भरे चाहिँ मैले आई मेट श्रीति प्रधान पो मेरो टिचर क्या हुज लाइक सो मच इन्टु इस्टर्न भोइस होइन अनि उहाँले मलाई फर्स्टमा सोधेर लाइक सो सी अल्सो रियली हेल्प मी हुन्छ नि एक्सेप्ट द्याट किन फर्स्टमै सी आस्क मी त तिमीले के सिकेको छौ तिमीले के थियो यस्तो यस्तो मैले म चाहिँ एकदम लजाउँदै मलाई भन्नु मन थिएन तर अब मैले इस्टर्न भोइस चाहिँ 3 months आई थट इट वाज नट टु बी सेड लाइक वेस्टर्न म त्यस्तो सोच्थेँ क्या एन्ड देन सी वाज लाइक द्याट्स ग्रेट तिमीले इस्टर्न भोइसको बेस लिएर आयो द्याट्स फ्यान्टास्टिक त्यति बेला नै मेरो यस्तो दिमाग ब्लास्ट भएको क्या when she said that was great that I did eastern voice and this is like somebody like I'm like really looking up to and then she's like so that was त्यस्तो मोमेन्ट्सहरू क्या अनि श्रीति दिदी was also like starting night त्यति बेला अनि त्यसपछि she told me about night and त्यसपछि I started listening to the music and that was so much closer to what I wanted to do. It was not like metal or like western vocal or whatever, all these things that were like super complicated to me किनभने त्यो के भन्छ नाइटको जस्तै म्युजिक अर्ना लामाको जस्तै म्युजिक it came more naturally to me के on this it also like was very close to home किनभने these are the kinds of songs that मेरो आमाजीहरू छामाजीहरू मेरो बोजूहरू they sing the melodies are very like close and a huge part of why I sing is I guess to connect गर्नु पनि उहाँहरुसँग and then also like कस्तो खालको healing type को पनि there's हुन्छ नि part of it and all of this like त्यही त एकदमै लामो story एकदमै लामो छ अझै पनि लामो story but anyways all these things were हुन्छ नि coming together अनि त्यसपछि to make this conscious like kind of a decision to write and record in Nepali. But also until then I did not have this crisis that Rai say मेरो language हो or anything. I really felt like ये मेरो language हो त्यही नै मैले सोचिरहेको थिएँ.
Yeah. So we through EITV we had sent out like ask Bartika a question, and we got like 96 different people asking 96 different questions. I hope you know that in childhood and even now you are beloved, truly, truly beloved. Like I want to affirm that. So stand in the light, Bartika. So like 96 people wrote and like I was reading through the questions and so I'm trying to incorporate as much as like they want to know. Or personal I'm just ignoring those to protect you. I think it's okay. Sorry audience members. But amongst the 96, a lot of them were, the reason why I asked this Nepali English is like a lot of them either felt like your lyrics are just like they're beautiful, like how do you write it, or can you help me write it, or your words speak to me, right? Like a lot of them saw you as a singer, but also a lot of them saw you as a writer, right? Like a songwriter. Like a few were even asking, are you going to do more songwriting workshops? Because I think you did one right before the lockdown started and the world changed. Right? So like, when I listen to your songs, like maybe I'm the only one, but when I listen to your songs and when I listen to all three sort of one EP, like 2 albums that you have, like I think of them as like almost like little linked stories or like a novel almost. Like there's like recurring themes, there are like recurring characters, there are even recurring words like so nidari, shunya, timirama, like like, and there's a tone to it. And perhaps it's also your continuous work with Diwas Gurung in sort of like also and his team and also like creating a tone. Like, so, as a writer, you're like, when you're writing, you have a style, you have a voice, you sort of cultivate that, right? Like, and as Bartika Eam Rai, the singer, songwriter, like when you're writing these songs, like, is there a particular story and thing that you revisit? Because I feel like home is a big thing for you, with Simana too, right? And right now we're doing this theme called like a letter home, and it feels like you were away from home, like when you were really little, you know? So yeah, like when you're writing this, are there certain themes that you like, you know, keep like circling around, like sort of as an obsession? Because, you know, all of us are pretty obsessive. If we have to be obsessive to be artists. So like what are the things? Because I feel like your whole 3 separate kind of albums or EP Bapani, they read like a full novel, and these are different chapters of stuff.
Well, that is, oh, thank you for the observation. I guess it was, but I guess it's the deliberate banda. Like, this is when I say it's a project, I know, because I think a big part of me, like recording music, I never thought I was going to be a singer-songwriter. I never thought I was talented enough. And I'm an instrument so I was like, I can play clumsy like rhythm, like keys. I'm not technically like nothing. And then so I never thought, and also like I did not have a lot of representation growing up. You Katie singer-songwriters to look up to. Like there was very like, anyways, this is gonna be another story. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is ita America Aiboshi, when I felt so displaced, is when I started really like just singing the stuff that I had written. Writing because it's been a while. Like I started writing, I think, like I said, when I first started me being able to write words, ĀMΑKO gave me a journal. So I should say that I started jotting, like, because she would say like whatever you feel like you write down here. And I would always I would have these intense khalke feelings. And my mother recognized that. And I always used to do that. And I consider when I started writing, when I was 14 years, I think I had my first heartbreak. So then I started like, also I had this one-sided crush, you know, that was so massive. And then fiction. So just like make him into this person, I know, and all of that, just this much dramatic writings. And Brad was the best thing. One of the best things about, there are a handful of really good things about the school I went to, and publication हुन्थ्यो every week, like wall publication पुरा हातले लेखेर सबै टाल्नु पर्ने त्यो मेन असेम्ब्लीको फोयरमा. अनि म चाहिँ एकदम एक्टिभ थिएँ त्यसमा, इन्भल्भ थिएँ हैन. I also became the vice president. केटीहरु कहिले प्रेसिडेन्ट नहुने के फेरि. And I really had a problem with that because I thought I deserved to be president anyways, and I really enjoyed it. That I started writing. I had a kind of like an audience who would wait for me to columns. It was always about heartbreak. It was always about a guy. Everybody knew who my crush was. Anyways, I started writing. Writing never considered myself a singer, not a songwriter. I guess it's because the themes are recurring. And also, it's very interesting that you say it because I say it repeat at this point. Simana was an EP that almost did not happen. Because I thought like when I started writing Deshnikala for the first time, I felt like this is so pretentious. Like, why am I writing the same shit? I felt like that. Like every time like I release something, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be my last. Of course, like I'm like clouded by self-doubt and everything. That was a song that I almost did not do until EP. But then because I could not stop like singing it after, I was just like, is Diwas home? And we lived like in the same border, okay? And the city I was like, yeah, I'm home, like come over. And then I made a demo okay? So that was how that happened. The repetition but I think the constant repetition of like, I think the place is definitely a character. It's because I am away from home and have been for such a long time that it keeps like showing up in like different places, the same character showing up and the same words showing up because I'm still having these feelings. And also I started recording music and stuff. Deliberately, I really knew that I was not good enough, like technically. And I'm not saying this to like मलाई हेप्नुको लागि कि त कसलाई हेप्नुको लागि, तर मलाई त्यस्तो फिल हुन्थ्यो truly. तर पनि I wanted to send these messages. So these are all like messages that I had, like letters that I had. कतिवटा song को structure पनि थिएन क्या. अनि song को structure चाहिँ normally it's like verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus. त्यस्तो खालको bridge, chorus type को. there was nothing like Timi ra Mama. It's just like verse, like there's like 2 lengths of chorus. Like it's not there. It's like the first song that I ever wrote like in a piano room that I never returned the keys for. So it's got a different story. So त्यो सुन्दाखेरि I remember myself त्यो टाइममा. So I wanted to kind of like document मेरै कुराहरू so that I would remember पछि म त एकदम मेमोरीसँग चाहिँ म एकदमै obsessed छु. Like I really want to like there's so many things that मलाई अझ story भन्दा पनि यत्रो लामो भइजान्छ नि because I really the detailहरू like क्या important छ क्या, like I can't miss one and हुन्छ नि.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's the beauty of your lyrics, and that's why people catch on to it. There are scenes, there are images, and images are always more memorable, I know. And मैले यो repetition भनेको चाहिँ I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Actually, like recently I was listening to an interview by one of my favorite poets, Ocean Vuong, and he was saying, he was saying it's really sad that sometimes writers, I mean, he was talking in terms of literature, writers, when they say, oh, ma Vietnamese writer, oh, मैले यसको बारेमा लेख्न आँटेको छु, तर त्यो अर्को Vietnamese writer ले लेख्थ्यो, अब म लेख्नै पाएन, like हुन्छ नि, that kind, like he's like, that's so sad because it's not like एउटा album लेखेर, एउटा poem लेखेर, एउटा novel लेखेर तिमीले त्यो subject लाई त कहिले deplete गर्दैन नि, हैन? त्यो subject त्यसरी deplete हुन्छ भने that's not like that subject cannot be depleted. And who are you to think that एउटा book लेखेर you have depleted every possible aspect of that thing, right? So by that I mean almost as a compliment that I love now the idea of like, yeah, why shouldn't we be obsessed with sort of similar things, and then we grow with it. Like, I'm sure you see things very differently now about home than you did even 2 years ago, right? Or 3 years ago, right? So I think that's really, I just wanted to clarify that it wasn't like a bad.
I understand that you mean it as a compliment, but I was like, well, there's still one space but then I'm trying to, of course, like see this like differently. And it was also, I guess I had just come from like Nepal tour and alikati halka time bhairako and then so tour is halka mechanical huncha ke kaile kaile. It's almost like, why am I doing this? Type ko pani moment huन सक्छ कहिले कहिले because
can you talk about that? Because भर्खर अर्को point I wanted to bring up that तिमीले अहिले भर्खर भन्यो is like तिमीले यो लेख्नु is like you are sort of obsessed with archiving memories almost, right? And that तिम्रो songs तिमीले गाउनु तिमीले लेख्नु चाहिँ तिम्रो obsession of archiving memories हो अनि तिम्रो गाउनु चाहिँ it's a way to like share it, right? So like, can you talk about that performance aspect? Like, because I feel like those are very two different things. Mechanical
performance, if it goes back to just singing with मेरो हुन्छ नि आमा छ्यामाहरू, it truly does. For the longest time I didn't feel like I was a great singer or a good singer. मैले फर्स्टमा गीतहरू रिलिज गर्दा पनि a lot of people were like, गीत चाहिँ ठिकै छ तर यस्तो टाइपको कमेन्ट्सहरू. And I mean, like, I never wrote for them, so like that's the clarity. It was very important for me to have. I guess I also had that because my halka mature time I released it. I was not like a teenager when I released it, I had gone through a little bit of shit. This is the first EP came out. So like after that, like people saying that was not gonna do like anything to me because those songs really were messages to myself. And then of course like to my Amaziaru, although they were very sad because those songs were too sad for them. I know that was another part. So the kind of shows that I truly like to perform for are very like tight shows, okay? With like ekdamai where I can totally like see the audience can see me as in see, okay? Not like just like I don't like these 1,000 people shows where people are drinking and then hollering and then just like हुन्छ नि I mean त्यस्तो पनि हुन्छ shows, of course हुन्छ हैन, तर त्यस्तो टाइपको शोजमा त्यस्तो टाइपको म्युजिक हुन्छ, त्यस्तो टाइपको shows हुन्छ. मलाई चाहिँ I like close knit shows. मलाई चाहिँ I really like त्यस्तो shows चाहिँ it's not, that is where I enjoy performing and then sharing my हुन्छ नि, because my songs are very like एकदम vulnerable खालके हुँदाखेरि बल्ल because they were written in a very vulnerable space. मैले गाउँदा पनि I have to be able to channel that and go to that space. This which balla it'll be like an epic performance moment, कि त moment that I share with all these people. त्यसपछि बल्ल like the moment is so like this magical type हुन्छ. But then if I have to sing all these songs that I wrote in such vulnerable spaces, in like drinking people, like which is not, I'm not saying nothing bad about it, तर यति हल्ला गरिरहेको छ, they're just there to listen to one song, but then they have to stay for the entire set. It's just not, it just becomes so mechanical, like without even, nobody has intended it. They're, of course, they're very happy to see me. They have listened to mirror music. You know, it's like, it's very weird. I listen to a lot of singer-songwriters. So I have a separate relationship with them. So I know that audience, they have a separate relationship with me that I have no idea about. Unless like people just brought in Satya, like, oh yeah, it's a Bartika Eam Rai on the size there, Zoom type goes, and this sounds Nepali friends. Unless the people who never listen to my music. तर हो त्यस्तो खालके क्राउडहरुमा चाहिँ इट्स भेरी डिफिकल्ट क्या त्यो गाह्रो हुन्छ लाइक एउटा गीत मेबी एउटा गीत चाहिँ दामी हुन्छ बिकज द्याट्स व्हाट दे देयर टु लिसन टु बट अरु सबै चाहिँ देन इट गेट्स सो मेकानिकल एन्ड देन व्हेन स्पेशली वी आर अन अ टुर एन्ड वी आर ब्याक टु ब्याक लाइक वी हेभन्ट स्लेप्ट रियली वेल वी आर जस्ट डुइङ साउन्ड चेक एन्ड शोज आफ्टर शोज एन्ड देन इट्स जस्ट लाइक what is the point? But it's also important because I do meet some like really important listeners through this like 1,000 people ma, like there will be like 20 people, like 30 people who are really listening. I feel bad for them because the whole experience is like so dissociate like but then त्यस्तो खालके मेकानिकल चाहिँ भनेको अनि त्यसपछि चाहिँ when you go back to songwriting, then you're like, now is this gonna happen again? Like, so now you're like, am I gonna have to do like त्यस्तो खालके हल्का like back of the head मा चाहिँ, so then you're like, is this repeating itself type को. तर truly भन्नुपर्दा फेरि back on the reason I wrote Simana was I was in a very bad space त्यति बेला, एकदमै dark space मा, अनि I was going through the legal process यता, and then it was एकदमै isolating. I never realized त्यस्तो हुन सक्छ भनेर, but then it happened to me. And I couldn't even complain about it because my friends were going through worse times. Well, at least I was in the process. And I just could not believe that some of my friends had not gone home for like 10 years, 12 years. I had just gone home like 2 years ago. I was like crazy because just the thought of not being able to like go back home for like years or like getting stuck, like not mobile, not sakne, thought is so affected by it. So then that's how I wrote Simana. It's a very, very personal EP. Yeah, sometimes we have to sing it to like people who have no, like they're not there, like they're like somewhere else. But this balance, it's not. But it's changing. Like there are listeners who are truly understanding. कति कुराहरु अनि पहिला देख्ने लिसनर्सहरु पहिला नदेख्ने लिसनर्सहरु अहिले देखिरहेको हुन्छ. So the scene is really changing, and like I said, like 2011 ma boo garda थियो alternative लाई, and now we have so many indie singer songwriters, like so many genres. त्यति बेला नै like the evolution had started. Like I was the center of it. It was Kathmandu was so inspiring क्या त्यति बेला. That's also when I met you in your first workshop.
That was a magical time. So like one of the things that songwriting one of the things that everyone wants to know, or the audiences, and I was thinking whether or not to ask you this because it's kind of can be annoying, but like they want to know like when's the next album, when's the next like music, and I know that a lot of people, a lot of artists are like like I've had some friends sort of joke about that too. But in seriousness, like are you working on something, or are you now just like, you know what, like I'm just going to focus on films? Like what is the evolution of your artistry, like what's going on?
I am definitely trying to transition to cinema. तर मैले सिनेमा गरे भने पनि I will also be working in the audio, the sound design of the film on the side. I'm not going to be like the center, but I'm definitely going to be working on that. I'm working on like some ballads on the side, but there's no like timeline or nothing. This is normally so more singles release गर्ने खालको artist होइन, simply because I'm a producer right now. And in my life, because I do so many things, मेरो त्यो अपर्च्युनिटी कस्टको कुरा एकदमै I really like when I think about releasing an EP, I really have to put time to it, like extra time to it. अनि मैले सबै कुराहरू आफै गर्ने भएकोले I have to really like त्यो एकदमै त्यो choice हो क्या, like I have to give up something else, होइन, to do that. अनि singles release गर्ने आर्टिस्टहरू चाहिँ normally I feel like I really don't know. The ones that I know, जसले singles release गर्नुहुन्छ उहाँहरू चाहिँ normally producers हो क्या, so they produce their own stuff. So it's like easier for them to, because it's all them, it's obviously difficult because it's all them, but it's easier for them in a way that they don't have to have multiple people work on it stuff. Because multi-producer, I know, multi-single गर्दाखेरि it takes me so much, like double, quadruple more time than just getting like an EP done, like doom, like 6 songs, 7 songs, 8 songs, whatever. So त्यसैले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मेरो एउटा गीत चाहिँ आउँदैन. But then maybe like my next project say, I don't know, but there's no timeline. But I am working, but I really can't say like when it's gonna happen. But I do like, so I have been working on like, so all of my friends are getting married. Most, let's not say all, some people are getting, okay. Anyways, most of them are always like, and I'm like, I can't go there and sing Khai. I can't go there and sing like Najik. Like I can't go there and sing, it's like what my mother told me, basically. She told me like Maya Porako Gitaru Lake since a long time ago. I should have listened to her. But anyways, so now I'm working like on a few ballads that's okay to sing at a wedding. And not just for like, like I'm trying to obviously like, I don't want to make it like a एकदमै transactional खालके गीत हुन्छ नि, that has nothing to do with me, that are obviously like deriving like moments that I've lived and stuff that are hopefully like, I don't know, that would be fun. That I'm trying to do something like that. त्यो चाहिँ मेरो एकदमै challenging लाग्छ क्या मलाई यस्तो चाहिँ. तर but I really want to have like 1 or 2 songs. That's the actually the निदरी लेख्दा पनि सुरुमा मैले त्यही सोचेको थिएँ, because I was like I need to have like at least 1 song. तर त्यो निदरी लेख्दा चाहिँ it was also, I did a summer camp back, मैले winter camp पनि गर्थेँ पहिला श्रुति दिदीको, अनि summer camp चाहिँ यहाँ आएपछि पनि गरेको थिएँ एउटा. अनि त्यो एउटा राउन्ड भन्ने हुन्छ क्या किड्सहरूलाई सिकाउँदाखेरि, राइम्सहरू सिकाउँदा पनि गर्छ नि, एउटा राइम सिकाउँछ, 2टा लाइन सिकाउँछ, एन्ड देन रिपिट गर्दाखेरि त्यो 2टा लाइन भन्नुपर्छ, 2टा. सो निदरी चाहिँ त्यस्तो खालको वेमा पनि लेखेको थिएँ, बिकज आई रियली वान्टेड लाइक मेरो सबभन्दा सानो कजन्सहरू पनि now they listen to my music, which is like, they were really young, like 5 years ago. I'm not really young, but मेरो लागि they were really young. And I was like, I don't know if you should be listening to these like existential songs from my end, so maybe let's make like some fun songs. So I was trying to write Nidari Tara. त्यो चाहिँ त्यति बेला, yeah, I was in a good space त्यति बेला, so I think that song turned out pretty good. I mean, I'm trying to say that honest थियो, it was not transactional, you know. So I guess which is the reason. And of course, like Diwas Gurung produced it and turned it into like a life of its own. So that was there. But yeah, so working on मेरो answer यति लामो हुन्छ क्या, oh my god. Anyways, working on a couple of things that are no timeline. Definitely trying to transition to cinema. So it's gonna take a while. किनभने त्यो स्क्रिनै लेखिसक्नु, it's gonna take some time, so I guess there's gonna be some music before any cinema. तर म चाहिँ as त्यो मेरो artistic quest मा चाहिँ I'm trying to understand myself as a filmmaker.
No, I love Nidari. To me, I feel like it's kind of a lullaby too, like in some
It
ways.
is a lullaby.
Yeah, and it's really beautiful. So I also wanted to ask you about sort of, you've talked about home, right? Like, so when you first left home to go to the US, like you also shortly after you kind of represented Nepal in some ways at a beauty pageant, no?
Not Nepal. It was not Nepal.
It was like within Nepal, sorry, with all the Nepalis. Can you tell us a little bit about that? It was like Miss Nepal US or US Nepal?
Miss Nepal US. So म यहाँ आएँ होइन 2012 मा, and then 2013 को summer was the first summer, and I came to New York. अनि त्यसपछि one thing led to another अनि I found myself भन्नाले 3 हप्ता जति बाँकी थियो समर एन्ड हुनु हाम्रो चाहिँ एकदम बिग प्लान्स थियो लाइक पैसा हल्का कमाएर जान्छु सफ्टमोर इयरमा टाइपको होइन तर 3 हप्ता अगाडि मसँग केही पनि थिएन लाइक काम पनि थिएन नथिङ एन्ड त्यो अझै लामो स्टोरी छ एकदम पर्सनल पनि छ लेट्स नट गो देयर होइन बट देन आई स्टार्टेड सिइङ अल दिस फ्लायर्स अफ मिस नेपाल युएस अन्त सो द थिङ इज सानोदेखि हाम्रो बोर्डिङ स्कुलमा चाहिँ साह्रै साह्रै टिभी हेर्नु पाउँछ होइन अनि हामीलाई मिस नेपाल चाहिँ जहिले हेर्नु दिन्थ्यो क्या सो आई वाच्ड एभ्री सिङ्गल मिस नेपाल बिलिभ इट अर नट होइन फर लाइक हुन्छ नि तर हामी कस्तो थियौँ क्या लाइक वी वर लाइक गर्ल्स होस्टेलमा बस्ने अनि केटीहरूको मिस नेपाल हेर्ने अनि त्यसपछि उनीहरूको बारेमा कुरा काट्ने यु नो सो त्यस्तो खालको टक्सिक खालको वे जस्तै यो केटी किन आएको यु नो त्यस्तो खालको इन्टरनल लाइक यो केटी त भएन तर वी अलवेज ह्याड आवर फेभरेट्स अनि उनीहरू नर्मल जित्थ्यो होइन बट देन अनि वी वुड फर के भन्छ रियली चियर फर देम तर अरूहरूको चाहिँ अब उनीहरूलाई के मतलब हामीले कहाँ हेरिरहेछौँ लाइक बोर्डिङ स्कुलमा लाइक त्यहाँ 11-12 इयर ओल्ड होइन तर हाम्रो त्यस्तो खालको ओपिनियन्स होइन अनि एनिवेज पहिलादेखि चाहिँ तर म आई वाज भेरी क्रिटिकल अफ ब्युटी प्याजेन्ट्स लाइक कस्तो टाइपको केटीहरू बिकज यु नो दिस होल लाइक ओरा यस्तो खालको छ नि त अनि तर पनि अनि मलाई चाहिँ बिकज म स्कुल सकेपछि पनि म लाइक बिकज आई वाज इन आई थिङ्क म घरमा कहिले पनि धेरै बस्दिनँ थिएँ तर द इयर द्याट आई वाज देयर मैले मिस नेपाल हेरेको थिएँ क्या अनि मेरो भाइहरूले चाहिँ मलाई जहिले पनि ड्र्याग गर्थ्यो क्या 2 इन्च ठुलो भएको भए मिस नेपाल जानु पाउँथेस् भनेर अलवेज लाइक बुलिमी क्या हुन्छ नि अनि त्यसपछि माई ब्रदर्स आर लाइक अनदर वर्ल्डको मान्छेहरू जन्तुहरू एनिवेज अनि त्यस्तो हुन्छ होइन अनि देन आई वाज केप सिइङ दिस फ्लायर्स अनि सो फर्स्टमा चाहिँ मलाई एकदमै आइसोलेट पनि भइरहेको थियो अनि बिकज मैले त्योभन्दा अगाडि ठ्याक्क युएस आउनुभन्दा अगाडि मैले 2टा ग्याप इयर लिएको थिएँ होइन अनि 2टा ग्याप इयर चाहिँ म मिडियामा काम गरिरहेको थिएँ नेपालमा अनि आई वाज अल्सो डुइङ म्युजिक सो आई न्यू सो मेनी पिपल इन काठमाडौँ लाइक क्रिएटिभ्स क्या फिल्म मेकर्स फोटोग्राफर्स राइटर्स होइन म्युजिसियन्स एकदमै नै थिएटर पिपल कस्तो एनर्जी कस्तो राम्रो थियो कि एन्ड आई वाज रियली लाइक त्यो आई थिङ्क त्यहाँबाट एकैचोटि म अकाउन्टिङ पढ्न आएर पनि मेरो डिस्प्लेसमेन्ट अझै हाइटन भएको थियो क्या मैले के पनि म एकदम क्लोज भएको थिएँ क्या मान्छे आई कुड नट ओपन माइसेल्फ अनि म अलिक जजमेन्टल पनि थिएँ अफ पिपल बिकज देयर वर नो क्रिएटिभ्स अराउन्ड मी and like I cannot go into like another program and then expect people to be like cooler because creative people are cooler but anyways on this त्यो flyers like that's it I was also like maybe I'll meet like some people here type go first one boy होइन but then the true thing is just first price चाहिँ $5,000 थियो अनि मलाई पैसा चाहिरहेको थियो होइन
Amazing.
अनि हाइटको रिक्वायरमेन्ट थिएन के म त्यस्तो फुच्ची पनि छैन राइट लाइक एभरेज हाइट बट देन अनि त्यसपछि मलाई यस्तो त्यसपछि आई वाज लाइक ओ माई गड अनि त्यसपछि मैले हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मालविका दिदी वाज द कोरियोग्राफर अनि मालविका सुब्बा चाहिँ मलाई एकदमै ब्याडी लाग्छ होइन सी इज बिन हियर लाइक सी लाइक हुन्छ नि मलाई एनिवेज होइन मलाई आई रियली लाइक हर अनि आई अलवेज वान्टेड टु वर्क विथ हर अनि त्यसपछि सी डिड वर्क इन अ म्यागजिन वेयर आई वर्क एट पहिला तर हाम्रो ठ्याक्क उहाँ आउँदा मजा त वी ह्याड लाइक अ मोमेन्ट देयर एन्ड आई फेल लाइक इट वाज अल्सो अ मोमेन्ट वेयर आई कुड वर्क विथ हर अनि त्यसपछि मलाई त्यस्तो भएर एन्ड देन आई वेन्ट होम एन्ड देन आई कल माई आमाजी अनि स्काइप थियो होइन त्यति बेला अनि आमाजीलाई मैले फर्स्टमा आई ब्रोक द न्युज आई वाज लाइक आमाजी म चाहिँ मिसमा जानु पर्ला $5,000 सी लाफ्ड एट मी होइन एन्ड आई वाज लाइक आमाजी कस्तो सिरियस हुन्छ नि बिकज माई ब्रदर्स लाइक किप लाइक आई सेड लाइक किप कलिङ मी लाइक मिस नेपाल हुन्छ नि अनि सो माई मदर्स लाइक यिनीहरूले गर्दाखेरि यस्तो अनि सी इज लाइक she laughs at me and she's like, "तो sure sus, तँलाई sure जानु मन छ तँलाई clear छैन?" And I'm like, "म sure छ आमाजी $5,000 okay first prize म जित्नु पनि सक्छु." And she's like, "Thirdly चाहिँ के जित्छ अरे?" She's like, I know. Literally like
Oh my god, so much faith.
And I'm just like, what? And I literally like, and especially I called like especially I called my bestie to tell her to break the news to her because this is my bestie, me, like all these girls watching this in boarding school year by year, I know. And I broke the news to her. I kid you not, she laughed and then she asked me, third ko ke prize huncha. I'm not joking, they were not in the same room. I know. And this puchi I called like the person I was seeing who was also in Nepal. I told him the same stuff. He listened to it. I kid you not, he asked me the same question, third ko ke prize huncha. I kid you not, you was so like this is such a एकदम funny. अनि मलाई यस्तो रिस हाँस पनि उठ्यो अनि I was just like whatever होइन and then I went there अनि मेरो सबभन्दा ठुलो डर चाहिँ के थियो भन्दाखेरि अनि त्यति बेला चाहिँ म अल्सो लाइक यता न्युयोर्कमा हिमालयन याक भन्ने ठाउँमा लाइभ म्युजिक गर्थेँ क्या फिरोज राईहरूसँग अनि त्यसपछि उहाँहरूले अल्सो लाइक यो यहाँ जानुको लागि मेरो होटलको फिजहरू स्पोन्सर गर्नु पर्थ्यो somebody had to give me money क्या so that I could go there अनि उहाँहरूले पनि दिनुभयो like they sponsored like half the money and त्यसपछि half the money was sponsored by like this community that I knew in New Hampshire तर जे होस् I went there मेरो सबभन्दा ठुलो डर चाहिँ अब चाहिँ कस्तो खालको केटीहरू आउँछ because I have criticized them all my life okay and I'm feeling like all these like beauty queens are gonna be here हुन्छ नि heels मजाले लाउनु म चाहिँ मेकअप पनि मैले कहिले मेकअप गरेको थिएन दिदी त्यति बेलासम्म मैले Sephora गएर Bare Minerals को त्यो होल लाइक बिगिनर सेट भन्ने किनेर त्यति बेला I didn't even have money I was like oh my god so expensive गएर यो के भन्छ I just like learned like to barely like put like a makeup whatever त्यो कुरा हुन्छ नि त्यो पनि आएन मलाई हैन अहिलेसम्म पनि आउँदैन whatever but then and त्यसपछि I went there and I was like oh my god कस्तो खालको केटीहरू आउँछ होला अनि I have to stay with them for in a boot camp for 7 days अनि मलाई सबभन्दा डर लागेको चाहिँ these girls are just gonna be like मेरो hair बिग्रियो मेरो nails बिग्रियो त्यस्तो खालको केटीहरूसँग I have to live for 7 days त्यो चाहिँ मेरो biggest fear रे क्या because I was thinking that यो ब्युटी प्याजेन्ट त के होला त इट्स लाइक अ पर्फर्मेन्स यस्तो पर्फर्मेन्सहरू त गरेको छु लाइक ट्यालेन्ट सोहरू त गरिरहेको छु आइम गोइङ टु ट्रिट लाइक ट्यालेन्ट सो भनेर गएको थिएँ क्या म भरे त त्यो केटीहरू त कस्तो डेन्जरस केटीहरू के लाइक रियली लाइक इन्सपायरिङ केटीहरू लाइक दे वर अफकोर्स लाइक दे वर 2 गर्ल्स लाइक हु वर रियली यङ उनीहरू चाहिँ एकदम ब्युटी क्विनै like that's what they want to be तर पनि that clarity is great at that age hello like what was I doing अनि all these other girls were like हुन्छ नि ग्राड स्कुल सकिसकेको केटीहरू पनि थियो ग्राड स्कुल गरेको केटीहरू थियो who were doing like these fantastic research programs हैन एकजना केटी आर्मीमा जानु आएको थियो एकजना केटी was studying to be a lawyer she was so great like कस्तो like उसको कुराहरू was you know what I'm saying like कस्तो like त्यो त कस्तो राम्रो थियो क्या I was like what like I was so embarrassed अनि अझै मालविका दिदीको facilitating was कस्तो great क्या the moderations that she used to do like त्यो बुट क्याम्पमा चाहिँ धेरैचोटि हाम्रो डिबेटर टाइपको हुन्थ्यो होइन लाइक टेबल टक टाइपको अनि त्यो टेबल टकहरूको उहाँको कन्भर्सेसनको कुराहरू नै कस्तो राम्रो थियो कि इट वाज लाइक कलेजको क्लासमा गएको जस्तै थियो अनि आई वाज लाइक आई मिन अफकोर्स देयर वाज अल्सो लाइक द हिल्स लगाएर बस्नुपर्ने होल 7 डेजको पार्ट थियो विच वाज रियली लाइक त्यस्तो त म कहिले पनि लाइफमा गर्न सक्दैन इट वाज लाइक रियली ब्रुटल तर त्योभन्दा बाहेक चाहिँ the girls were so inspiring अनि I was so glad I went there अनि यस्तो भएको थियो हैन मेरो ट्रान्जिसन त्यो 7 डेजमा कि I literally did not care if I won last time because I felt like I got so much के I gained so much I am also not joking मेरो ठ्याक्क त्यो when the performance was about to start like I think half an hour जस्तो बाँकी थियो अनि I called my mother के मेरो आमा चाहिँ भर्खर उठ्नु भएको थियो खाएर त्यति बेला अनि मेरो आमा चाहिँ 4 बजे उठ्नुहुन्छ हैन बिहान अनि त्यसपछि I just called her and I was like आमा जी and she was like ल गुड लक यस्तो and I was like आमा जी म त कस्तो धेरै सिकेँ म त I always like more मेरो आमा जी were really close so I always update her हैन and I was like म त कति धेरै सिकेँ म त कस्तो मान्छे भेटेँ म त कस्तो लाज पनि लाग्यो but then अब चाहिँ मलाई कस्तो फिल भइरहेछ भने like I don't care if I win मलाई I think I'm good like I learned so much and we had that whole conversation के I'm not even joking on the whole Umer पनि show I was so calm I was like not nervous at all because I was already like I already like learned so much like it's okay like
and then you won
but I won on this which मेरो साथीले he called my mother this is the final like outro of the he called my mother like मेरो tenzing गर्ने साथी छ हैन he's one of my besties and he called my mother to let her know हैन आन्टी Bartika त जित्यो my mother was like ए ल कन्फर्म गरेर मलाई कल गर my friend called me back म सक्दिनँ त्यो आमालाई प्लिज म सक्दिनँ आफै कल गर so then I had to call her but then she was like like I said she was like यो के होइन बाटो धेरै बाँकी छ she's like अस्कर जितेर आएछ
never enough
Nobel Prize जितेर आएछ अनि त्यसपछि थाहा हुन्छ and I'm just like okay pick one like it's always like that she's like yeah Oscar Grammy Nobel Prize I'm like
but you know what's so interesting about that is like you are in all of those areas slowly, no? You are, I mean, you're a
Sometimes when I'm really
musician.
like,
You might create something incredible in accounting. I don't know. I don't doubt it. That's very innovative, Nobel Prize play. But what I have appreciated, Bertie, in your interviews too, when I was listening, is like you really advocate for musicians to be financially strong. You talk about money. You know, you were saying I needed that money. I got that money. Like, you know, and I think we don't talk enough about money. Like when we talk about like the economies or like poverty, we always talk about the poor. We don't talk about the rich. We don't talk about wealth distribution. We don't talk about how to, you know, like make sure that you protect yourself as artists. So I do appreciate, or maybe the accounting company, I don't know. I know you've talked about that as like sort of, you know, you need a day job and then, you know, you like, that's what you've been saying, which I think is like very unique in terms of like, you know, artists. Like, it's not like you're less passionate by any means, right? But you're also someone who's like able to, and are also in like so many different sort of fields, panuki, interests, panuki, like you were saying, hustling, you know? So I think we can talk forever, but like our is wrapping up. But I do have like some, like, I'm gonna do like fire round questions that like people have. I know they're very simple. About when are you coming home? When are you coming back to Nepal? अब home भन्दा पनि अब यो त अर्कै कुरा गर्नुपर्छ हैन. अब तिम्रो कति धेरै homes छ हैन. But when are you? I guess when are you coming to Nepal is one like question, if you even know the answer to that.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
gonna try to come like soon.
Yeah. They miss you here is all. What's your all-time favorite book or author?
That's a very, very difficult question.
It is.
अहिले चाहिँ मेरो ठ्याक्कै अगाडि Patti Smithको M Train भन्ने book रहेछ, which is a lovely book. It's not an all-time favorite, but it is a book that if you get, maybe you should read.
Nice. What is your all-time favorite song? कस्तो गाह्रो question के?
त्यही त कस्तो गाह्रो question, all-time favorite song. All-time favorite song चाहिँ मलाई थाहा छैन, तर अहिले मैले सुनिरहेको गीत चाहिँ एउटा सुनिरहेको गीत भन्दा maybe album is यो, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, Sufjan Stevens को Carrie and Lowell भन्ने Carrie and Lowell भन्ने album चाहिँ मैले सुनिरहेको छु. एकदमै मनपर्छ उसको music. So
अर्को question चाहिँ when will your novel be out or literature be out?
yeah. You know when I know. You know when I know.
That's a good answer. And here, last one that came quite a bit was what's like, who inspires you in terms of like Nepali music? Old or new, dead or alive?
Other musicians?
Yeah.
I am inspired. I'm really inspired by the new like youngies just recording out of the bedroom, like recording into their voice recordings and posting it. Like that's really cool. Like sometimes I go to SoundCloud and sometimes I'm just like, these young guys have like Discord groups, and then they will like jam there. So then I just go there anonymously, and then sometimes I'm like, but yeah, nice. That's really inspiring. These are people who are not published yet, but I think they're like all kind of like recording stuff. Any existing musician or of course, I'm very inspired by Diwas Gurung. That's why I always like work with him. Ali dimagma airaheko chai I mean, Amazumi is fire, I think. She's also in EITV Virtual. I think she just did her set. Diwas actually did her set.
I was there. Yeah.
And I also love like Yugal Gurungko music. I love Shreya Raiko music. I also really like अघि मैले एकछिन भनेको थिएँ नि I was like the 2000s मा एउटा wave आएको थियो भनेर pop music सबै आर्टिस्टहरु पनि I'm still inspired by I love like अरुणालामाहरुको music पनि like I can go on and on like
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're wondering too, like when you're gonna give a next songwriting workshop.
Yeah, as soon as I can. Just started a new job, so I need to get some kind of like alka settle also, and then as soon as I can.
Okay, I think that's about it. I was also thinking that maybe you should give a workshop to artists on how to manage money.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be like my main gig, like when I become like a little bit older. Oh, Sachu, I worked in a non-profit for a little bit, I know, arts non-profit in finance. I was like, so like, I was just frustrated and like really sad for like everybody. But then I'm gonna make it a point to understand the things that I need to. And I also like quit my job thinking that I'm gonna start doing workshops Nepal ita like financial literacy go. And this was like right before grad school, and that was my plan. On this I once I started writing proposals, I realized what kind of a privileged place I came from. Of course, like artists like it's not like glamorized like people have similar problems everywhere. But then what I built for here, it's not gonna work in Nepal. Like I cannot go and give a financial literacy workshop to people who are struggling to pay like rent and like stuff. So I gotta like really learn a lot of stuff, and then I'm very serious about it. I mean, yeah, I mean it's exhausting to be living so many lives, and the identity crisis is like wild because at work every day they're like, I mean, small talking about music is great. So then they're always like, sometimes like the people that know talking about my music, my mon parदैन के काममा चाहिँ मेरो म्युजिकको कुरा गरेको, because I feel like उनीहरुले मेरो undermine गर्छ के मेरो working. It's a very like, because the corporate politics मा कस्तो complications हुन्छन्. म नेपालीमा बोलेको क्या छिटो छिटो फेरि मेरो टिमले But anyways, there's like so many things. But yeah, I'm truly, I think हामी सबैले गर्नुपर्छ त्यो चाहिँ.
Yeah.
Financial literacy.
Okay, and one last question I have coming back to home. I love your Ghar Yaad Haruma song. I think it's so cheerful. Agi bhante ni pura melancholic geetharuma ta gauncha. I don't think so. I think it's so easy to categorize your song like that, but that's the easy way out. Like Ghar Yaad Haru is like such a beautiful song. I think of you listening to Maila Daiko radio and dancing, like, you know, and like I feel like it's such a playful, wonderful song. And when I listen to it, like it gives me just this feeling of being so light and being a child again. So we've come one full round back to child, I guess. And so my last question is, where you are right now, like, where do you find home? Like, how have you made home in your everyday?
अहिले चाहिँ मेरो लागि यो क्वेसन एकदमै डिफिकल्ट छ दी, बिकज अहिले आइम फिलिङ भेरी लाइक अनसेटल्ड खालके. तर बिकज I've moved like I think 20 different zip codes in the past 10 years. And त्योभन्दा पहिला पनि we never had a proper home. Like मजाले boarding school back आउँदाखेरि my parents would have changed like an address. So I never really had like a physical association with nothing. And अहिले चाहिँ especially मलाई एकदमै I'm right in the middle of wondering what it is. I mean, where my Amati is always going to be partly home. I know, because I'm very connected to her. And that is always going to be home. But it's not fully, because that's not the place I grew up in. And that's not the place where I have anything. And then we're not even going to be there for a long time. So this to like the physical to association, like the many strange again. Like also I feel like as the first generation immigrants, all of us, we have such a personal relationship with, I think, objects that we've carried like through time and places. I know I'm like different relationships. So I just rent a place and then I place all my objects, and then I create a home, right? And I live because I'm living in the space. I've created a sanctuary khalke space after like say. So then it definitely feels like home, like on like, because sometimes the days are really bad. So it's definitely there to moments but still it's like I can't really say, right? Because like I'm like and then just like these inanimate objects. But then it's a question that I'm asking myself to be. And I think a lot of us are as bully. So it's pretty cool because the conversations are yeah.
I just wanted to say that out of the 96 questions that we had, not all of them were questions. A lot of them were just like messages of love to you. I'll send you all the screenshots of it. All of them were like just telling you how much they love you. And then also like, just like, I don't have a question, just take care of yourself, take care of your health, like literally like their family, you know? And I also wanted to end our conversation by saying that yes, I think you're right. We're all traversing and trying to find home, but I think you also know, and if you don't, you should, that your songs have been home for so many people. So thank you for that, Bartika, so much.
Thank you, Sissy.
Yeah, and thank you for willing to be featured this month. We're going to hear all about you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Bartika, so much.
Thank you, Munadi.
Say it again. Bye.